The best clubs I've ever owned, are they graphite or steel? We'll find out. Oh. You guys know I use men's clubs. These are men's stiff flex. One is a steel shaft and one is a graphite. When I used to play on tour, I've always used steel shafts because they are heavier, they are more consistent. They may go a little shorter, but once I stopped playing on tour, I started losing distance. So I really wanted to try the graphites, and also, you know, they say the technology is so much better, so the graphites are just as good as the steels, and I really want to try it. So I've been using the graphites for, I'll say, about 4 or 5 years. Majesty Golf sent me a brand new set of clubs with the steel NS Pro 750s. I ended up getting the same Majesty Conquest Blex, so exact same heads. I'm always used to using NS Pro 850s. This is 750. I used to use 750s whenever, you know, my back wasn't so good or I wasn't as strong to handle 850. This one is right now 82 grams because it's stiff, men's. And then this one, I believe, is 69 grams. Speeder shaft. I thought it'd be a fantastic opportunity. Let me throw these on the fly scope and we can compare the two, you know, statistically and also how I feel about them. So let's go ahead and do that. Steel shaft. Feels really solid. Different though, I'm not used to hitting steel these days. Really good. Like 5 yards shorter, looks like, than what I'm used to. Okay, graphites. Oh, softer, goes up higher. Feels like I don't have to hit it as hard. I'm just used to the graphites since I've used them for a couple of years now. Yeah, it makes me not want to hit hard at it. It does look longer. Oh, 10 yards. But it's inconsistent. Oh. Graphite definitely goes longer. I definitely don't hit hard at it. Oh, it feels so good. Wow. It makes me hit really hard at it, but it feels really solid. All right guys, let's compare the feel first. With the graphites, it felt softer, lighter, easier to hit. I found myself swinging slower, softer, and the ball came off like butter, obviously. I'm used to this guy a little bit more at the moment. With the steel now, it felt heavier. It felt like I had to hit harder at the golf ball. I found myself swinging really hard at it, but it felt solid when I did. And I was trapping it, compressing it really nicely. It felt stronger off the face. So, you know, there's pros and cons, easier to hit versus really solid feel, but I really had to give it all I had, which I haven't done that in a couple of years. So that was different. When it comes to the ball flight, now, this guy had a very inconsistent flight. I didn't realize that until I compared it side by side to the steel. Very inconsistent. Sometimes it went high, sometimes it curved a lot. Like for example, when I swung a little bit harder, it'll curve at the end. So that's probably why I swing easier with this guy. Whereas this one, the flight was very consistent. It was right at the flag all the time. And it wasn't as high, it was more piercing, and it looked like it was biting more consistently. So I loved it when it came to the flight. Being a former tour pro, you can't really argue with consistency. We want consistency and we love it. All right, now the distance. This is where dilemma comes into play because I was hitting this guy anywhere between, I would say, 140 to 155. I normally grab my 7-iron when I have 145 left. But with this guy, when I maxed it out, it was like 145. So it was anywhere between 140, 145, averaging right around 142 and 3. So now I would have to probably pull out my 7-iron when I have like 140, 143 left. So I'm losing probably maybe 5 yards. But this one was too inconsistent for me. I didn't realize sometimes I would hit it like 10 yards past the flag and sometimes just, you know, a little bit short of it. The 15-yard difference in range is too much for me. So the verdict, guys, My absolute best set of clubs I've ever owned so far is, ta-da, this guy. The consistency, you can't beat it. Felt amazing. The consistency of the ball flight, the spin, and the feel of the face, hands down, everything was just a go for me. So it'll take me a couple of weeks to get used to the new feel of the shaft, but I'm really glad I got the steel in this year's set, so I was able to compare them and know that I really love playing the steel shafts. If you have any more questions on the golf clubs, please let me know down below or Ask Aimee section on my website. Come check it out so I can communicate with you guys. Thanks for golfing with me and see you in the next one.